Hello, I'm Teacher Ivan from Wuuna Educational Services. I welcome you to our third lesson of functions. In today's lesson, we are looking at undefined function or infinite or meaningless function. For a function to be undefined or infinite or meaningless, the denominator of such a function must be equal to 0. For instance, if f of x, which is x plus 1 over x squared minus 4, is said to be meaningless or undefined or infinite, then its denominator, which is x squared minus 4, must be equal to 0. Hence, x squared minus 4 equals to 0, which makes x squared equals to 4, and the values of x are either positive or negative 1. So, the condition for a function to be undefined is that its denominator must be equal to 0. So, these are examples for us to try out. Example 1 says, find the value of x for which the g of x, which is 5x plus 6 over 9 minus x squared, is not defined. So if this function is not defined, then the denominator equals to 0. So equate this denominator to 0 and get the values of x. Similarly, in the second one, we are given that if h of x, which is 3x plus 1 over x squared plus 3x minus 40, they want us to find the value of x for which h of x is meaningless. If it's meaningless, then the denominator equals to 0. You'll get a quadratic equation which you'll have to solve and get the values of x. That's the meaning of a meaningless or undefined function. Our last part of function is now composite functions. What are composite functions and how do we get composite functions? This is the last part of functions. Composite function simply means a combination of two homofunctions. When we combine two homofunctions, we get what we call composite function. For instance, if we have fx as 2x plus 3 and gx as 6x, they want us to find fg of x and gf of x. This is how we shall find that. So we have the two functions. We have fg of x and the gf of x. These are the functions that we are to find. But we have f of x, which is 2x plus 3, and we have g of x, which is 6x. So, finding fg of x means that instead we are replacing x with g of x, and this is the same as f of g of x. So in the function of fx, we are replacing this fx with the g of x, which becomes 2 into g of x, since we are replacing x with g of x, plus 3. But still we know g of x. G of x is 6x, so we shall replace g of x with 6x, giving us 2 into, instead of writing g of x, we replace with its expression, which is 6x plus 3, hence giving us fg of x as 12x plus 3. That is how we find composite function. Similarly, if we are to look for gf of x, that means that we are getting g of f of x. So in the expression for gx, we are replacing x with f of x. So this means that g of x is 6x. So where we have 6x, we replace x with f of x. But f of x equals to 2x plus 3, hence giving us 12x plus 18. That's how we get the gf of x. Let us look at more examples. In example 2, we are told that g of t equals to 3t minus 2 over 4, and the h of t equals to 4t over 5. So they want us to get, and we also have f of t. We have f of t as t squared minus 1. So the question is asking for fg of t and hf of t. So this is how we shall get fg of t and the hf of t. So that's what we have. But fg of t means that where we have f of t, we are replacing t with g of t. Therefore, that gives us f of g of t. And from the expression for ft, we are replacing t with g. Therefore, this gives us, instead of writing t squared minus 1, we shall say g of t, this is squared, minus 1. Since f of t is t squared minus 1, but we are replacing t with gt. Therefore, instead of writing t squared, we write g of t squared. But we also know g of t, which is 3t minus 2 over 4. So we shall replace shall replace gt with its expression, which is 3t minus 2 over 4. This is squared minus 1. So we just simplify this. When we are squaring, we both square the numerator and the denominator and take away a 1. So the rest is for us to simplify instead, which gives us, this is 3t minus 2 squared minus 16 over 16. So this is the expression for fg of t. And then we are also supposed to find hf of t. So we have h of t. The expression for h of t is 4t over 5. Meaning that in hf of t, where we have t, we are replacing it with f of t. And therefore, hf of t is given as 4f of t over 5. Because where we have t, we are replacing it with ft. Even this side. where we have t, we shall replace it with ft. Say that, but f of t is given, so f of t is t squared minus 1. Therefore, we substitute. That gives us 4 into t squared minus 1 over 5. So this will be the expression for hf of t. Sometimes we are given to get the composite function of 3 functions. They can ask you to get g h of f of t. First get this one. After getting, you also consider that for g. For instance, let us try it out. We have g of x, g of t as 3t minus 2 over 4. We have h of t as 4t over 5. And we have f of t as t squared minus 1. So for us to get g hf of t, we shall first get hf, whereby hf of t, we substitute in the expression for ht with ft. This gives us 4ft over 5, which gives us now 4 into t squared minus 1 over 5. That is hf of t. Then for g hf of t, where we have g of t as 3t minus 2 over 4. Now we are replacing this t with the hf of t. This one, which will give us the final expression. I may not simplify it, but I'll write it for you so that you can simplify. Therefore, g hf of t will be, this is hf of t, but we are substituting it in the expression for gt. So that gives us 3 into 4 into t squared minus 1 over 5. This minus 2 all over 4. So you can simplify this. That is how we get composite functions. Otherwise, I request you to pause from here. That's all we had to know about functions. If at all you missed something, please go back and look through all those videos and get some knowledge. If at all there is something that you think I've left out and it is very important, you can always comment in the comments and know what's that, and we engage it. Otherwise, we are on Facebook, we are on TikTok. Search for Wuuna Educational Services, Wuuna e-learning platform, Teacher Ivan's online class, Wuuna Kids platform, and join our academic family so that we excel together as we learn together. I'm Teacher Ivan. See you next time.